Hello and welcome back to some MTG Arena content. There was a historic open over the weekend, and I decided to play in it just kind of at random. I took red-green Shamans to a 7-1 finish on the first try, qualifying for day 2. I did crash and burn on day 2, so if you guys really want to see the games, I'll post them. Just, I guess, let me know. But yeah, so I've sped up the gameplay to make this go just like a little bit quicker. So yeah, let's just get into it. Already underway here. So this is game 1 against what looks like a black-white life gain deck. They didn't really get much going. So I saw the Orator and the Johnny's Pride Mate here. So I assume that's kind of the point of their deck, is to just kind of get a bunch of life gain triggers and make a Johnny's Pride Mate. But we didn't really didn't let them get too far into their game plan, as I had a pretty explosive turn 4 here, playing my entire board with multiple Rage Forgers to get several triggers and putting them down to I think it's 8 here. Force them to trade with my Rage Forger, or put them into 3, sorry. So yeah, they just play their Healer's Hawk and scoop it up. Alright, on to game 2. This is a pretty solid opener. It's a little bit awkward just because it's all 2-drops and then Collected Company, but Burning Tree Emissary with Collected Company, if you can get a Harmonic Prodigy online, then you can generate a ton of mana and sort of chain Collected Companies with card draw and whatnot. So it's keepable anyways. We got early game, and Collected Company is just incredibly powerful. So alright, so they're going to take apart my hand a little bit here, but we do draw the Harmonic Prodigy on turn 2, or on my first draw step, sorry, and we can play it on turn 2. But they take away the second Burning Tree with another hand disruption spell. So we get an Archimancer, which is it's worth playing first, because then you're not exposing the Harmonic Prodigy to removal right away, and it allows you to play multiple spells in a turn if it survives. So I'm fine with that outcome, and then I can play my Harmonic Prodigy and hope that it survives the turn. If it survives, then even if I don't draw a land, I can play the Burning Tree, generate 4 mana, and then play my Collected Company. I fully expect them to kill my Prodigy here with the Chandra, but they just play the Arcanist instead, which is probably a mistake. As again, I don't draw the land, but I get my 4 mana, so I can play a Collected Company, getting a bunch more Shamans, or getting another Harmonic Prodigy and a Faceless Agent to draw me a bunch more Shamans. So I've got just a ridiculous board just off of 1 Collected Company. And my hand's full again. So for those that aren't familiar with this deck, basically you're just using Harmonic Prodigy to double your Shaman triggers and generate a ton of card advantage and a ton of damage off of Rage Forgers. Yeah, this deck is capable of some very absurd turns, and Rage Forger finishes the game almost immediately. Yeah, they just scoop it up. I guess they're out of gas. Okay, game 3. This is definitely a mulligan, obviously. Alright, another triple Burning Tree Emissary hand. I'm gonna put the Shatter Skull Smashing to the bottom, just because I'm probably not gonna be able to play it, and it's just a tap land, and I'd rather just have a bunch more Shamans in case I do end up with a Harmonic Prodigy and Collecting Company and whatnot. This deck draws cards like pretty well, so I'm pretty confident in keeping all 3 of them. As you can see, we've got the Faceless Agent just draws me a Shaman from my deck, and the Elvish Visionaries draw me extra cards, as well as I've got Seasoned Pyromancers, which you discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards off of. And there's the Harmonic Prodigy. So I'm just going to run out the Prodigy here, and then if it survives the turn, then I can kind of go off with drawing 2 cards off the Visionary and making as much mana as I'll ever need off of these Burning Tree Emissaries. And they're clearly playing like a red deck wins kind of aggressive deck, so I'm just trying to protect my life total. Unfortunately, they are not able to take out my Harmonic Prodigy here, so I can play Burning Tree, generating 2 extra mana, and then playing the Elvish Visionary, getting 2 cards, getting 2 extra mana from another Visionary, getting 2 Shamans off the Faceless Agent. With mana left over, I can play the Pyromancer, discarding 4 cards and drawing 4 basically. And now I feel very good about my position. Alright, kind of whiffing a little bit here, so I'm just going to pass the turn. Basically, we just need to find either a Rage Forger or another card draw Shaman. Like another Pyromancer or a Faceless Agent would be excellent. Rage Forger probably ends the game immediately with the double Harmonic Prodigy on board, because it's 3 triggers for every single. Like, Rage Forger comes into play and puts 3 counters on all my Shamans, and when they attack, they get 3 triggers that deal 1 damage to the opponent each, which is absurd. Alright, and since I have 2 Harmonic Prodigies, this Burning Tree Emissary is going to generate 6 mana, which means I essentially have 8 mana, so I can play the Shatterskull Smashing where X equals 6, which basically it's going to deal 6 to two different things. I'm just kind of, I haven't really done it before, so you can see me just kind of working it out here. And yeah, that leaves him with just the 1/3, and leaves me pretty comfortable to attack, because I've got a creature back to block. So if they use their mana to kill it and try and get in, then they have less mana to basically try and burn me out. And yeah, we have lethal on board. Just send in the team, and that's game. Alright, next game. This is a great start, and I'm on the play. So I've got Llanowar Elves on turn 1, and then turn 2 I can play my Harmonic Prodigy. I'm gonna have to take 3 from the Shatterskull Smashing to have an untapped red source. But next turn I can Collected Company 1 turn early. Fortunately, they play Inquisition of Kozilek and not like a Thoughtseize, so I get to have my Collected Company. I'm not really sure what they're playing. It looks like some kind of multicolored control deck, just like with Gigantha and a bunch of different colored lands. So I kind of want to hit another land here. Like, I could take the 2 Faceless Agents and just get a bunch of Shamans in my hand, but so I go with the Elvish Visionary instead of the second Faceless Agent. Alright, and now we get to really pop off. And by pop off, I mean just do a bunch of damage, because I'm a little bit worried about them having like Wrath of God or something. But yeah, Rage Forger just represents a lot of damage on this board with Harmonic Prodigy, even with only 2 Shamans. And they're going to immediately use spot removal, which is fine. Again, I don't want to commit too much to the board, because I assume they have some kind of sweeper. Like, even a Deafening Clarion would be pretty bad for me, although they didn't have the mana, but yeah. Alright, next game. I think this is game 5. So yeah, I'm keeping 4 lands and 3 Collected Companies as a hand, because basically if I can survive to cast the first one, I'll probably be able to stabilize. All right, and this is another life gain deck. Okay, so actually, yeah, I remember this match now. So yeah, this is a wild one, because they're playing. I believe it's like an infinite life like combo deck. I think they play Collected Companies where they're trying to get like Heliod, and I think it's Scurry Oak, which lets them whenever a +1/+1 counter gets put on the oak, it what do you call it? It makes a 1/1 squirrel token, and then you have a Johnny's presence there, which whenever you gain a life, you get a plus, or what do you call it? Whenever a creature comes into play, you gain a life, and then the life from or triggers Heliod that puts a counter on the oak, and then you just rinse and repeat, and you can do that infinitely. So we get to go off with our collecting companies here, with all these with 3 Harmonic Prodigies on board. We're getting 8 mana per Burning Tree Emissary, and we're just really popping off now. Yeah, the only thing that I'm worried about in this spot is them gaining infinite life or just like sweeping the board. But I feel like they're not running main deck sweepers just because they're kind of a creature deck, but also kind of a combo deck. Just like generating so much mana and just like so much gas here that it's a bit silly, but it actually is about to get sillier. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to discard the hand size here. Just figuring out what to discard. Don't need more cards, so I discard a Pyromancer and a Visionary and a land. And they do play the Scurry Oak. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, Scurry Oak. And they have their infinite combo online. No, actually, I'm curious. Like, at what life total do you go up to feel like you're safe against a deck like mine? Like, I think my opponent is going to gain, I think they get up to around 80 life, and then they stop the combo, just because like I think they just expected me to concede, and they figured that I was just waiting for them to time out, but really I was waiting for them to get to an exorbitant amount, because I figured maybe they would just stop without realizing just how much damage my deck can do. So yeah, they stop around, yeah, they get what, 44 life off of their Scurry Oak triggers. They generate, I think it's 30 something squirrel tokens, and now they get every time they gain a life, they get to scry with their 2-drop creature there. Sorry, you can tell I don't play like a ton of Magic anymore. I'm not incredibly familiar with everything that's going on in Historic. I also generally only play Limited, so but yeah, so they're at 82 life, and I guess they assumed that they were safe, but yeah, well, I'm about to like really go off and show just how much damage this deck can do, basically. So they haven't been able to kill any of my creatures. So I've got the 3 Harmonic Prodigies, and I've got, I think, 2 Rage Forgers in play right now. Yeah, 2 Rage Forgers in play, and both other Rage Forgers in my hand. So, and with the Burning Tree Emissary, I've got an absurd amount of mana still, and not many cards left in my deck. So I don't think I have even more Shamans than anything. We get all 4 Llanowar Elves off of this Faceless Agent, because that's the most common card type, which means that the next Faceless Agent should get, if there's any Shamans left, it'll get whatever Shamans are left, and then it'll get my last Harmonic Prodigy out of the deck. And the Anarchomancers are reducing the cost of my spells, so my 3 red mana left is enough for me to play the last Harmonic Prodigy, and also my last 2 Rage Forgers. And I've got 11 Shamans that can attack. So the counters are pretty irrelevant, but because they have enough blockers to block everything. But when I go to attack, all the attack triggers are increased as well by the Harmonic Prodigy. So 11 11 shamans get 5 triggers each per Rage Forger, so that's 20 triggers per shaman. So basically, we got well over 200 Rage Forger triggers to go through here. So 83 life was not even remotely close enough. Yeah, I think the opponent is just starting to realize now that they messed up. I am running out of time, but I definitely have enough clicks done to get it over. Yeah, they concede with just over 150 triggers done. Yeah, that brings me to 5-0. Yeah, so that was a wild game. Kind of the reason that I decided I wanted to upload it was just for that game, really. All right, so game 6. There's 2 lands in this hand, so it's definitely solid. We've got the Burning Tree, we've got a Rage Forger, we got Elvish Visionary to find more lands, and we got Collected Company to win the game with. So yeah, here I'm just playing the Burning Tree. Like normally I sandbag the Burning Tree emissaries just to get value off of the Harmonic Prodigies later, but I just wanted to kind of get some damage on board and put pressure on my opponent here. Drawing the second Rage Forger definitely solidified that game plan to just get in every turn and just pressure them. I believe they're playing the vehicle reanimator deck, where they're just trying to reanimate Parhelion to generate angel tokens with the new black-white rare from Kamigawa. I'm not familiar with any of the Kamigawa cards. I have not played the set at all, unfortunately, but I believe it's called Greasefang. Okay, so yeah, we're just like curving out, putting a lot of pressure on with shamans, getting a little bit of value. We're no Harmonic Prodigy this game, but I don't think we really need it. We're just dealing so much damage with Rage Forger. An opponent, if they have a sweeper, then they're going to cast it now, but clearly they're digging. And I don't know what they're going to do with 1 or even 2 mana. Yeah, that's it. 6-0. Okay. So this is a match where I make a couple mistakes and it costs me. This is the one, I'm pretty sure, in my 7-1 record. I'm against the Jund Food like sacrifice deck. With it's got like Meat Hook Massacre, which is just absurd against me because a lot of my creatures are very small, so it's easy to sweep the board, and then they gain a bunch of life when all my creatures die. Just basically trying to accrue some shamans in my hand, get some card advantage happening. We need like a Collected Company or Harmonic Prodigy pretty quick to be able to kind of grind them out. Usually that's what they're very good at doing, but I feel like my deck can actually generate better value outside of like sweepers, just because I can play so many cards all at once. And they're just sacrificing everything they can, making their squirrel nice and huge. And there's Harmonic Prodigy though. Yeah, I can play an Archimancer, and I believe I just leave up the Bone Crusher Giant here. Because the following turn I can play the Harmonic Prodigy plus the Rage Forger and just get in for a ton of damage. But I believe this is Is it this? Where I kind of no, never mind. Next turn is where I make a grave mistake that costs me the game. This turn they just generate a bunch of value, make a giant squirrel. I'm not sure on the logic of sacrificing the goose here, because they sacrifice the goose to the oven, which is just seems kind of weird. Like they're just trying to get their creature up out of range of something, out of range of a burn spell maybe. But yeah, end of turn I just deal 2 to their face. And yeah, they're all tapped out, so I can deal a lot of damage this turn with Harmonic Prodigy plus Rage Forger. I'm pretty sure I can deal 15 here. If I use the other Bone Crusher Giant to burn their face. So I'm just one point shy. Which is kind of awkward. So yeah, so since I can't attack for lethal, I just leave the Llanowar Elves back, and that way I've got another blocker, as well as like if something happens, then I can cast the Bone Crusher Giant and deal 2 to something. If I remember to float the mana. So they have Culling Ritual, which kills everything with converted mana cost 2 or less and gives them mana for everything destroyed, and I forget to float the green mana, which is a huge mistake, and if I'd remembered to do that, I'm pretty sure I win the game here, because I'd be able to burn this Lurrus out and not have to spend the mana to do it the following turn. So yeah, they get their squirrel back and play a goose. And then I mean I've got to take out the Lurrus immediately, because like I can't afford to have them getting things back every turn, and yeah, they're gonna sacrifice their Lurrus in response. Since I know they can't sacrifice anything at instant speed, I am gonna offer the trade for my Rage Forger with their squirrel. Because I mean the squirrel is such a huge threat to me, and I mean I can win without the Rage Forger from this spot, but they don't take it. They go to 1. They can gain a bunch of life this turn off their food tokens. They remove my 1 creature that has a counter on it. I mean I don't really have a lot that I can do here. That was a mistake as well. I could have played the Narcomancer and played the Seasoned Pyromancer in the same turn, and for some reason I just didn't. I think I thought that I needed to have a card in my hand to discard to get cards back, but that's not how that works. Alright, they're just gaining more life, playing more food tokens, and then they get the Meathook Massacre, which is the card that I'm worried about. So here's my next punt. Like I don't need to play the Collected Company to to put pressure on them to make them sweep the board this turn, but I do anyways, because if I can hit one of my 3 other Rage Forgers, I just win the game right now. But it's definitely too greedy to do that, and I just choose to fail to find there, because when they play Meathook Massacre, they gain life for every creature of mine that dies. So that's 3 very large mistakes in this game that I very much could have won this game, which is feels a little bad, but you know, what can you do, right? Let me play better next time, I guess. But anyways, yeah, so So play the Visionary, trying to find more action. There's a Burning Tree, so we can play 3 creatures, but I need them to just basically whiff for like 2 turns in a row. They have a creature land, I think, among their lands there that I don't know about. Yeah, they unfortunately get Soul Guide Lantern, which means that I don't have the Pyromancer in my graveyard anymore, which is, and also a second Meathook Massacre, so that's very fortunate for them. Some good rips. And yeah, at this point I'm drawing pretty much dead. I mean, like, maybe like a Faceless Agent or an Elvish Visionary into some other action could get me back into it, but yeah, I'm just in chump block mode. And they're gaining life every time one of my creatures dies, so yep, Shatter Skull Smashing does not do it, and that's it. Alright, take another crack at this. 6-1 now. Another Inquisition of Kozilek deck, which I've been doing very well against, because clearly, like I said, this deck draws a lot of cards and just wins just by overwhelming them with card advantage, or can win by overwhelming with card advantage, or just by dealing too much damage. So yeah, I'm just gonna play out the Harmonic Prodigy, just on the off chance they don't have removal. It just seemed more worth it than just playing an Elvish Visionary, and I've got the Collected Company as well to refill my, or to try and hit another Prodigy later on anyways. So yeah, it's Arcanist deck. I think it's the same deck we played in like round 2. And yeah, I get the Prodigy and a Burning Tree. We get 4 mana off the Burning Tree, but it's not quite enough to use the Pyromancer in the graveyard. And then we draw into a land off of the Elvish Visionary, play the Rage Forger, and just put a ton of pressure on them. So this is kind of why the deck's like so good against spot removal. We just generate so much value, so many creatures off of the Collected Companies and the Elvish Visionaries. And then yeah, just so much damage at the same time. It's very weak to sweepers, but the deck is just so explosive, and I just love Shamans. I've been a fan of Rage Forger since Morningtide came out, so yeah, there we have it. That is 7-1, first attempt on the Arena Open from a person who plays basically strictly limited. Like 99.9% of my Magic gameplay is limited. But yeah, so if you kept watching and enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.